if you're talking about sync specifically and you have a website with a downloadable store, usually for sync, I stay away from sending links to like a beat store or something like that where they can download it. Because number one, if they see a beat store, they're thinking, oh man, all these beats, they've been leased to artists all over the place. There's a bunch of copies of this running around. It may kind of turn them off, right? And I'm speaking of the licensing companies. So I'll never send a link to like a beat store or anything like that. And if you do have a beat store, I highly recommend keeping the beats that you lease as a producer completely separate from the beats that you're trying to sync and get placed in TV and film. Minimizes a lot of confusion, and it just makes stuff way cleaner. It'll make everybody's life easier. But if you're trying to pitch for sync, then that's when I would bring in, a box.com, a disco.ac, because those things work well when sharing music for sync and pitching it. How did you know she was the one? I don't know. It sounds cliche, but you just know. I don't know, man. I've been really good at following my instinct, my gut, and I don't ignore the feelings that I feel. I don't ignore the consistency in how I see her interact and treat other people. See how she treats her friends. See how she treats kid or nieces, nephews, or kids. How she cares about people. How selfish she is. Like, I don't ignore those things. I pay attention to that little stuff. And yeah, man. I think it reached a point because we were friends for a minute. Actually, we got really, really close right before I moved to Atlanta. So I was in Columbus. She was still in Toledo finishing up a nursing degree. And I moved. So we were still friends. We never dated even when I moved. And I was purposely single because I knew I was like in a transitional place in my life. So I was like, I wasn't even looking for a relationship because I knew I was moving around trying to figure out where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. So moved to Atlanta. She ended up coming down maybe a week after I moved because we got booked to I had submitted a picture. I got booked for a Kirk Franklin music video. It was a I Smile remix video or something. If you look it up, you'll see me with hair. It was an old video, but he did a Coming to America parody. I submitted a picture. She was in the picture because it was like the best. I didn't have a lot of pictures. I just moved, and I'm not a big picture taker, so that was one I had on hand. So I just submitted that joint, and it was just like, yo, with the young lady in the picture with you want to be in it too. So I asked her. She was like, bet. So she came down. And then we were in that. And then she went back. I didn't like the feeling I got when she left. So then she came back. She visited a few more times. And I kept not liking the feeling every time she left. So I was like, you know what? This is the last time I want to feel like this. So the next time I was gonna have her come down. And she was going to be my wife. And that's what we did. She graduated. Got her nursing degree, and then right after graduation, I drove up there, packed all her stuff, and we had both of our cars. At the time, I had a Ford Focus ZX3. It was a hatchback. I had that joint. She had a Kia Rio. We stuffed both of those cars with all the stuff, and then never looked back. And then soon as we moved her down, I got hit up to work on Tamar Braxton's Christmas album, so I had to go out of town for a week. I had to go to New York for a week to work on that, which was it was after our honeymoon. Not it wasn't It wasn't immediate after we got married. It was after our honeymoon. So then I had to leave, which was, it kind of sucked because it was her birthday week as well. But she was supportive through that the whole time, even though it was kind of rough. Just moved to a new place, just got married. It's your birthday, and your husband just dipped out for a week. That's tough. But I had 100% support. So that's what I mean, where it's like, yo, who you marry is like a huge decision, and making sure, and it goes both ways. I'm not saying, it has to be all supporting me. I support her in all her business ventures as well. But, that stuff, it plays a role, man. So yeah, we look back and we just like, man, humble beginnings. Thoughts on giving up sync fee percentage for upfront money, still keeping writer share performance royalties. Thoughts on giving up sync fee percentage for upfront money. That's a part of the business. You have a choice. You can take the fee and possibly get no more upfront sync fees. Once they do, it's called a buyout. So if they do a buyout, they'll pay you a lump sum of money up front to produce the tracks before it gets placed. And, every time it gets placed, you just won't see any sync fees. Or you can say, no, I don't want to do a buyout. I want to participate in the sync fees. You can do that. Sometimes it's just buyout. Like, that's just what it is. Like, depending on who the client is just like, we just buy out everything. You'll see stuff like that with bigger clients who just, they understand the importance of ownership. But yeah, I think you do what makes sense to you. You're going to see a combination of both. You can always make new music, and if it's a company that's going to work, you got those royalties. You add something else that you put out there that's going to continue to work for you and earn you passive income for the rest of your life. Plus, what is it, 75? I think like copyright is like the life of the owner plus 75 years or 74, something like that. It's something in the 70s. So, yeah, not unheard of. Oh yeah, most definitely. Travelor. He says a lot of supportive spouses would have scoffed at the fact that you said you're going to make money doing music. Indeed, man. Listen, and I think it goes to you have to be realistic too, because you have to understand, especially when you get married, like you can't. There's a certain level of security that a spouse wants to feel or have, and that, the level's different for everybody, you know what I mean? So you have to keep that in mind. So you can't be out here just moving reckless, just like in the name of your dream of making money doing music. So, I was gigging full time, was a full-time musician when we got married. But then when we got married, I know what that gig life is, and I know the inconsistency that comes with it. I didn't want that going into marriage. So my sacrifice was like, yo, I'm going to go out, I'm going to find a day job that I can do so that I know I have this coming in. Music, I ain't worried about that. I'm going to make that happen regardless. You know what I mean? Like, day job or not, it's like there's no excuses. I make music, not excuses, right? So you may, you may have to do something to create that stability for your family until your music business gets to the level to where you don't have to worry about the day job anymore. And that's what we did. And she understood that vision, and she believed in it. And now we don't have the day jobs, so it's a blessing. But yeah, you definitely got to be realistic. Take a step back and don't be so don't be so focused on your dream that like you're making other people sacrifice unnecessarily when you can literally just go out and just get a job. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting a job and still doing music and building your business, like whatever you want to do. So many creatives be like freaking out, like, yo, like it's never gonna happen because I gotta go to work. That's not true. Like, you put in whatever hours you put in, come up with a game plan to put whatever hours you can put in for yourself as well. Sacrifice a couple hours of sleep if you have to. Whatever you got to do, like make that joint happen. So that's what we did. Is it recommended to notate your splits on your disco versus notating that you have the splits handled, keeping biz private? Not speaking of the writer section, but page 1. I've seen both ways. So like in disco where it has the writers, I'll put like all the writers. I won't put the percentage of splits in the writers, so it'll say like Anthony Clint and, you know, whoever else the other writers are, right? And then in the actual writer section, that's where the actual percentages would be. So if I'm submitting music using disco.ac, I will definitely have the splits in that writer section, so that they can just see it. And then if they want additional paperwork, then we can pull out, you know, the split sheets or whatever, documentation to show that, you know, this is who owns the splits. Kid Strange said, we saw the Love Clint, that breakfast in bed. Listen, that French toast slapped. It slapped. So yeah, shout out to her. I wasn't yeah, it was delicious. So let's see. Not the peanut. I'm telling you, the peanut butter cup. I'm behind on comments. Of course, snacks was involved. You already know. You know how we get down. A way to a producer's heart is through his stomach, not the Apple Store. I agree, 100%. With kids, you know how to hide your Reese's. Listen, man, I got stashes the kids are unaware of. I have stashes. I've always had stashes. You ask my my roommates in college, I would always have a stash of something. What would you recommend the maximum length of a pitch track before the sting?